Good morning, everybody. It is still technically morning, 11:37 on the East Coast. Took the day off, hang out with everybody. Please do me a favor, read the disclaimer. Please do your own due diligence. I am not a financial advisor. I am not your financial advisor. Make sure you don't make any decisions based on somebody on what they are saying on the internet. Thank you very much. Well, it is ugly out there, everybody. It is ugly. Not going to sugarcoat it. Let's look at what everything's doing. So, oh man. Apple down. Amazon down. Broader market is down. You got Costco. Costco, of all things. Of course, Costco's down. You want to know why? Worried about cost of goods going up and inflation hitting their bottom line. Salesforce holding even. You got the Dow down almost 1%. Alphabet's down over 1%. Meta's down 1.5%. Trying to stabilize, not go below 600. We'll see what happens. Microsoft, 389. I should have waited a day or two to buy. I bought it like 398. I think I bought more. Nebia's down a little bit. Next, doing well. Congratulations to everybody buying Next. ServiceNow down. NVIDIA can't catch a bid. One of the largest companies in the market with one of the best growth rates, and it just can't catch a bid. Crazy. Palantir holding steady. The NASDAQ down almost 1%. Reddit back under 140. SoFi, no love from the bears at all. Obviously, it could have been a lot worse today. It stabilized somewhat, but it is still down around, 45% or so? SPY down 1%. Tesla down 3% or so. And then we get the spiders. Not looking good. The only spider on my list that's up is energy. That's not a good sign, everyone. This is becoming a broad market sell-off. Not good. Not good. I am not quiet quitting. My away message is on. I took the day off. Am I going to stream POTUS? Yes, I am. I have it up on the other screen. It says we will begin shortly. I have it on live. So I also have CNBC up. If anything interesting happens on CNBC, I will bring it up as well. Try to replicate Amit. Chels, you heard correctly. I'm starting to warm up to Next. I didn't buy it yet. Obviously, it moved on me, but I am starting to warm up to it. Hollis is here. For anyone coming to the meetup, LAX TSA lines are over an hour due to partial shutdown. Still have time to get TSA pre-check if you get an appointment tomorrow. Hollis, why would that matter if now it's only flying out of LAX, right? Not coming into it. I mean, coming in, just get off the plane and go through. JP, where'd you send it to? If you sent it on X, I didn't see it. I will take a look. Yeah, Micron going down. Crazy. I mean, it was an incredible quarter. Let's throw Micron on the list. Track it. Micron. Oh, down 5%. Down 5%. Well, I am going to LA. I will see everybody out there. Looking forward to hanging out with everybody. JP, I will take a look at it today. Since you sent it on X, I will definitely take a look at it. Well, we got a lot going on today, everybody. So stocks fell to a 4-month low as Iran strike on Qatari LNG facilities and Israel's retaliation on Iranian gas fields sent oil surging. And we got renewed stagflation fears. S&P 500 broke below its 200-day moving average today. I mean, this is just not good. So I will tell you, try to be the voice of reason, but I'm calling balls and strikes. I'm calling it how it is. Am I selling? No. Am I buying? Yes. Am I worried? Not for the long term. Do I think that we can go down further? Absolutely. Keep in mind, this is a much different situation than we were in 3 weeks ago. Just like in the movie Draft Day, this is a much different world we were living in than 5 minutes ago when he makes the big trade. Okay? It's much different. So, here are the top stories right now that I'm paying attention to. You got escalation with what is now really be considered the Iranian war. So, markets are at 4-month lows. Iran struck a Qatari LNG export facility overnight, escalating the conflict that began February 28th when Israel attacked Iran's South Pars gas field. Iran retaliated by hitting additional Qatari energy sites, threatening global natural gas supplies at a critical moment for European energy security. The attacks mark a dangerous expansion beyond Iranian and Israeli territory, raising concerns about broader Gulf state involvement and energy infrastructure risk. The oil markets are pricing in sustained supply disruption, and gasoline is up more than 50% since we started the attacks. So the bottom line right now for this concept is that energy infrastructure is now a direct war target, fundamentally changing the risk premium in commodity and equity markets. And as I was saying on Amit's show, unlike last year with Liberation Day, you can walk back comments, you can walk back policy, you can walk back tariffs, you can make deals. You can't walk back destroying energy infrastructure. You can't walk back striking sites and having the loss of human life. You can't walk those things back. Once you do it, it's done. So this is an incredibly different situation. Nobody should think that this is similar to Liberation Day at all. This environment is night and day difference. Missy Ledger, what's going on? June, what's going on? Chels, I hope I'm keeping you entertained. Look at all you guys joining. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out. Love hanging out with everybody. Oh, we got did crude just surge again? Hold on. And we will be going to the White House once it begins, and we'll see who they're going to be talking to. This is not good. WTI, everyone, just crossed over 100. We are at 151 on WTI. 151 a barrel. It is up 4.5% right now. That is not good. That is not what we want to say at all. All right, so the Fed, I'll give you my thoughts on the Fed right now. The Fed held rates. Powell warned Middle East could block cuts. So the Federal Reserve held rates steady. We are at 3.5 to 3.75% as expected, but Chair Powell's hawkish commentary definitely rattled the markets. Powell stated, Middle East events, quote, will be a big factor, end quote, in inflation dynamics, potentially precluding any cuts 2026. The shift marks a dramatic change from January's dovish tone when the Fed signaled 3 cuts were possible this year. Markets now price in 0 chance of a rate cut before September and see stagflation as the dominant risk scenario. The bottom line on this is that the Fed basically told investors to prepare for higher for longer rates with oil at 100 and inflation reaccelerating. This is a night and day scenario from when we thought we were getting 3. I've been in the camp that we were getting 3. We had a new Fed chair coming in, inflation's going down, everything looks like it's going the way that it should be going, and then boom, out of nowhere, we get caught up in this for whatever reason. We don't know the exact reason. We don't know the official reason. Trump did come out today and say what he said, but the reality is we're caught up in it, and it looks like it's staying that we're going to be caught up in it. So oil surging. Brent, where is Brent right now? Let me go to trading economics because they have Brent and oh shit. All right, so let's take this off. Let's go to trading economics so everybody can see it with me. White House is not up yet, everyone. Crude is spiking. We're almost at 101. Brent over 111. It's not a 119 yet, but this is exactly what we don't want to see. Nat gas is up. Gasoline. Look at this. Oh, hold on. We're going to cut over to the White House real quick. It just came on, and then I'll determine if I want to continue to watch, and I'll pull the chat. So let's see what this is going to be about.
Because of the fact that I felt she was really good. I thought she did a fantastic job. I respect her a lot, so I gave her an endorsement. And she had the most successful election, in my opinion, in the history of Japan, won by the most ever. So we have a very popular, powerful woman, and she's a great woman. We have a very fine relationship, and we're going to be talking about trade and many other things. And it's an honor to have you. Thank you very much.
皆様ありがとうございます。本日は非常に特別な方にいらしていただいております。歴史的な選挙の圧勝ということで、私と共通するものがあると思います。私たち素晴らしい絆を持っておりまして、だからこそ私の方からも応援のメッセージを出させていただきました。素晴らしい人であり、私も心から尊敬している方です。日本の歴史上、最も素晴らしい選挙で圧勝したということで、人気の高い女性であり、すごい方だと私も思っております。本日に関しては、貿易、その他の課題について多く話をする予定です。
Thank you for inviting me to the White House today.
Thank you.
So, my visit is timely. So, given the current situation.
Oh, please, yes, absolutely. You have a very good interpreter.
Yeah.
Who I've known for a long time with Shinzo.
今、中東情勢も含めて、それから世界中の安全保障環境が非常に厳しい状況にあります。
Right now, situations in the Middle East and also the entire world, we are actually experiencing a very severe security environment.
そして世界経済もかなり厳しい影響を受けつつあります。
And also the global economy is now about to experience a huge hit because of this development.
でも私は、世界の、繁栄とそして平和に貢献できる、世界中に平和と繁栄をもたらせるのはドナルドだけだと思っています。
But even against that backdrop, I firmly believe that it is only you, Donald, who can achieve peace across the world.
でそのために私は、諸外国に働きかけて、しっかりと応援をしたいと思っています。
And to do so, I am ready to reach out to many of the partners in the international community to achieve our objective together.
今日私はそれを伝えに来ました。
So today I came here at the White House to directly convey this message to you.
そしてイランに関してはもう核兵器の開発、これは許されて。
I put a poll out. Vote if you want me to continue with Trump or go back to markets, please.
ではならないことですから日本も働きかけをしてきました。
And speaking of the situation in Iran, Iran's development of nuclear weapons must never be allowed. And that is why we, Japan, have been urging them and also reaching out to other partners in the world.
そして我が国は周辺国に対する攻撃、ホルムズ海峡 の実質的な閉鎖についても、これは非難をし、そして、茂木外務大臣からも、イランの外務大臣に対して、もうそれをやめるように申し入れをしてきました。
In addition, Japan condemns Iran's actions, such as attacking the neighboring region, and also the de facto or effective closure of the Strait of Hormuz. As a matter of fact, my fellow minister, Minister Motegi, Foreign Minister Motegi, also had the direct exchange with the Iranian foreign minister and urged Iran to stop such activities.
Yeah, you'll let me know. You can let me know.
それで、とにかく今、中東だけじゃなくてインド太平洋の安全保障。
All right. I'm going to keep it on Trump for just a little bit. I will move back to the markets and go back and forth, depending on what they're talking about. I do want to see what they're talking about with Iran and nuclear. So bear with me. I know it's roughly 50-50. I'll try to navigate between both. I got CNBC on the right, and I got this on the left, and I got you guys in the center.
環境も大変厳しい中にあります。そんな中でドナルドが、日本に深い信頼を寄せてくれて、揺るぎない、同盟にコミットメントしてくれていることに感謝をいたしております。
And also the security environment in the Indo-Pacific region is also becoming increasingly severe. Donald, you have shown deep trust in Japan and also the unwavering commitment to the Japan-US alliance. Once again, thank you very much for that.
今日は日本とアメリカが共に強く豊かになっていくための話し合いをしたいと思っています。
And today, I look forward to having a discussion on how we can cooperate to make our two nations, both Japan and the United States, stronger and more prosperous.
それから世界のエネルギーマーケットを落ち着かせるための提案も、持ってまいりました。
And I also brought specific proposals to calm down the global energy market.
この後、
All right, we're sticking on this for a few minutes. Let's just see what she says, and then we'll go over to the markets.
主に、経済安全保障、重要鉱物ですが、エネルギーに関する協力、そしてお互いに強い経済を作るための、成長のための話し合い、経済成長のための話し合いをしたいと思っています。Thank you very much.
So today, I really look forward to having our discussion, particularly focusing on our collaboration in economic security in the important areas such as energy and rare earth minerals. And also, I look forward to discussing with you how we can make our two economies stronger moving forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And you're doing a great job. Again, congratulations on the biggest win in the history of Japan. That's not bad. That's a pretty long history. That's a large nation with a great reputation, but it's a tremendous victory. Congratulations to everybody. Very proud of you. Very proud of you. We've become friends, and I'm very proud of the job you've done. It's not easy. Any questions?
Mr. President, are you fully satisfied with the level of support that you're getting from Japan on Iran, including around the minesweepers?
Well, we're going to be speaking about it today. Go ahead, you can go.
日本から、機雷兵などの支援に関して、その点について今の状況に満足していらっしゃいますか？
We're going to be speaking about it today. We've had tremendous support and relationship with Japan on everything. And I believe that based on statements that were given to us yesterday, the day before yesterday, having to do with Japan, they are really stepping up to the plate. Yes.
非常に日本から素晴らしい支援も受けていると思います。おとといのコメントから、日本からはそれに対して非常に力強いメッセージを得ていると私は思っています。
Unlike NATO.
NATO とは全く違いますね。
Please.
Mr. President, do you intend to lift sanctions on Iranian oil, and do you intend to potentially put U.S. troops or more troops in the region?
No, I'm not putting troops anywhere. If I were, I certainly wouldn't tell you. But I'm not putting troops, and we will do whatever is necessary to keep the price as well. I actually thought when I did this, look, the Dow just hit 50,000 a couple of weeks ago. They said that couldn't happen for 4 years. It wouldn't happen in my term. It's such a outrageous thing because I said it would happen. I didn't know it was going to happen that fast, but just hit 50,000. And we did that in 1 year, not 4. S&P had just hit 7,000. They said that was even more impossible than the Dow hitting 50. And we did that in 1 year. So it was all done. Everything was going great. The economy was great. Oil prices were very low. Gasoline was dropping to, I mean, we had $1.99, $1.85. We had great everything. And I saw what was happening in Iran, and I said, I hate to make this excursion, but we're going to have to do it. And I actually thought the numbers would be worse. I thought that it would go up more than it did. But we're doing this excursion, and when it's completed, we're going to have a much safer world. And the prime minister agrees with me on this. He considers it to be terrible what Iran did. I think every country does, just about every country does. Iran is a serious threat to the world, to the Middle East and to the world. And everybody agrees with me. I think virtually every country agrees with me on that. So I wanted to put out that fire. And I said, if we do that, oil prices will go up, the economy will go down a little bit. I thought it would be worse. Much worse, actually. I thought there was a chance it could be much worse. It's not bad, and it's going to be over with pretty soon. We've obliterated the Navy. We've obliterated just about everything there is to obliterate, including leadership. The Navy's gone, their Air Force is gone, their anti-aircraft equipment is gone. We're flying wherever we want. We have nobody even shooting at us. They have, and as you know, their leadership is gone. Their leaders are gone. They picked new leaders, they're gone. They picked new leaders, they're gone. And now they're looking for new leaders again. We can take out the island anytime we want. I call it the little oil island that sits there, so totally unprotected. We've taken out everything but the pipes. We left the pipes because to rebuild the pipes would take years for them to do. But I would say we are substantially ahead of schedule. And I had to do this. I call it an excursion. I had to take this little excursion and do something that no other president had the courage to do. And everybody wanted to do it, but they never had the courage to do. And I don't blame them. I'm not blaming them. It was left to me, and we've done a great job. Our military is incredible. We have an incredible military. We have the strongest military in the world by far. We have the greatest equipment in the world by far. In fact, Japan buys our equipment, buys a lot of it. And we're honored by that. And that's one of the things we'll be talking. They want to buy a lot of the military equipment. So it's just an honor to have the prime minister. We've had a tremendous relationship. Okay.
Mr. President.
I think she's going to have to go first before you. Is that okay? Do you understand? It's very good, I'll tell you. I mean, it's so nice that we don't have to sit. No, it's very good. I haven't picked up your language, so the next time you come, I'll have your language mastered. All right, go ahead.
If the war is almost over, why is the Pentagon going to ask Congress for an additional $200 billion?
Well, we're asking for a lot of reasons beyond even what we're talking about in Iran. This is a very volatile world, and the military equipment, the power of some of this weaponry is unthinkable. You don't even want to know about it. Oh, you could end this thing in 2 seconds if you wanted to, but we are being very judicious. But we want to do. Don't forget, Biden gave away. I rebuilt the military in my first term. Biden gave away so stupidly to Afghanistan a lot. He didn't want to move it. He was too lazy, too stupid to move it. But it was a very small amount. It was a lot, but it was very small relative to what I purchased and what I built. We want to have vast amounts of ammunition, which we have right now. We have a lot of ammunition, but it was taken down by giving so much to Ukraine. They gave so much. Biden gave $350 billion worth of cash and military equipment to Ukraine, and he didn't rebuild anything. Fortunately, we have a lot. We have a tremendous, unlimited supply of what you'd call middle and upper middle armaments and military equipment, munitions, armaments, but munitions in particular. At the high end, we have a lot, but we're preserving it. We don't really need it. But we're building, our manufacturers of military equipment are building at a level they've never seen before. They've never done before. Pete's in charge of it with all of us really, but Pete's been very strong on it. The general and Pete, myself, the whole group. And Raytheon is building 4 factories. Lockheed is building 5 or 6 factories, and they're building them fast. Because we had a very tough meeting with them. They were going out and buying back stock for $51 billion in one case. They spent $51 billion buying back stock. Now they're not allowed to do that. And they are now building a tremendous, there's never been anything like it, what's taking place right now. So we're in very good shape, but we want to be in the best shape we've ever been in. We were that, when I rebuilt the military, we were in great shape, and then Biden blew it, and he didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. And if you listen to the Democrats, they don't even want to have a military. Now you see how important it is. But we have the strongest military in the world. We have the best equipment. We make by far the best equipment. The other night, they had 114 rockets shot at a certain location. And out of 100 highly sophisticated rockets, out of 114 sophisticated rockets, every single one of them was shot down with our equipment, all our equipment. It's amazing, actually, how good it is. So we want to be sure, and it's a small price to pay to make sure that we stay tippy top.
Mr. President, can I ask about the Treasury?
President, you
Thank you,
said-
Mr. President. The Treasury Secretary this morning said there were defections among Iranian leadership. Are you aware of that? And is there anybody the U.S. can work with as a leader going forward?
Well, we have a man named the Treasury Secretary here, so maybe he wants to discuss it. Does anybody know? Do you know who he is? Central Casting.
Yeah, so and we are seeing the defections at all levels as they're starting to sense what's going on with the regime. It doesn't get reported here in the U.S. very well, but we are trouncing them from the air, and the regime will probably collapse within itself. At Treasury, we've seen where they wire their money out of the country. We're coming for that. We're going to get it back to the Iranian people.
And are you seeing defections?
Yes, sir.
On Israel, have you
There's a
talked?
lot of military defections also. You have a lot of military defections in Iran.
have you
I
talked-
don't blame them.
Thank you, Mr. President. Have you talked to Prime Minister Netanyahu about attacking the oil and gas fields?
Yeah, I did. I told him, don't do that. And he won't do that. We didn't discuss, we do, we're independent, we get along great. It's coordinated, but on occasion he'll do something, and if I don't like it, and so we're not doing that anymore.
And the last one, if I could, the Fed chairman told me yesterday that he plans to stay until a new Fed chairman is confirmed. And he also plans to stay on the board until the investigation into the Federal Reserve is done.
Well, he's under investigation because he's building a building for hundreds of billions of dollars more than it's supposed to cost. The building you see over there is under budget and ahead of schedule. That's the ballroom. The ballroom is a much bigger building. It's a much more complex building than what he's doing, and it's at a fraction of the cost. And something is going on, whether it's contractors. That's what I do best in the world. I build great buildings. I've always done it, and I build them under budget, ahead of schedule. They could have $4 billion. This is a renovation job for $4 billion. And if you look at the building, it's not even, I don't know if Kevin Warsh is ever going to be able to move into it. It's been under construction for years. It's the most expensive building ever built. Now, I know it's grossly incompetent because I happen to think he's grossly incompetent. Today, certainly you should be lowering interest rates, all right? Certainly, who would not lower them? But he's stubborn, and he's got Trump derangement syndrome. But a lot of people have that, it's not a curable disease. But he's also building, he should be lowering rates immediately. But he won't do that because he's a stubborn, incompetent person. And that's a bad thing. When you're stubborn and incompetent, I think it's the worst combination. And he's also not a smart person. But he's building a complex over there that's under his jurisdiction. He started it, and it's out of control. It's billions of dollars for a little building. I could have done that building and made it beautiful for $25 million. $25 million, and it would have been beautiful. Look what I've done at the White House, fixing it up. And I mean, the place was in bad shape. You see the floors and everything. It was in bad shape. I could have made that building beautiful for $25 million. They're spending $4 billion. All right. So there is criminality. Maybe it's with the contractor, but because I know more about contractors than any human being maybe that's ever lived. But that contractor is a very rich man. Whoever the contractor is, and we know, but whoever the contractor is an extremely rich man. He's going to make, I mean, he could make millions of dollars. I'm hearing numbers from $3 to $4 billion. That would make it the most expensive building on a square foot basis ever built in history. And you're not even building a building, it's a renovation. The exterior skin is staying, the steel is staying, the structure. So all I want to do is bring out to the public that this guy is an incompetent. He's a very incompetent guy. And he may be a dishonest guy, but somebody's dishonest because there's no way that building could be $3 to $4 billion.
Mr. President, on a straight of
Thank you.
Please.
Mr. President, you just mentioned Japan.
This looks like one of your people. Right?
Thank you.
Is he good or bad? Good. Is he a good reporter or bad? You know?
So.
Not a, all right, looks like a nice guy. Go ahead.
Mr. President, you just mentioned Japan is stepping up. What kind of support do you expect from Japan in the future?
Look, I expect Japan to step up because, we have that kind of relationship. And we step up with Japan. We have 45,000 soldiers in Japan. We spend a lot of money on Japan. And we've had that kind of relationship. So I expect, I'm not surprised that they would step up. We don't need much. We don't need anything. I mean, honestly, we don't need anything from Japan or from anyone else, but I think it's appropriate that people step up.
By the way, everyone, Broadcom just turned positive. It's up $2.76. I'm monitoring it on the other screen. So I'll let you know if anything else turns.
In the case of Japan, I hear they get more than 90% of their oil through the strait. So that's a big reason to step up. I mean, we've demolished, that country is close to demolished. The only thing is the strait. It's very hard. You could take two people and they could drop little bombs in the water and they're holding things up. We don't want that to happen. But honestly, Japan, China, Europe, parts of Europe, get a lot of their oil through the strait. We get none, practically. We're less than 1%. We don't have to be any percent. We don't even, I think we do it just to be nice. But we think of it, we don't use the strait. We're defending the strait for everybody else. And then in the case of NATO, they don't want to help us defend the strait, and they're the ones that need it. But now they're getting much nicer because they're seeing my attitude. They're getting much nicer. But it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's too late. UK wants to send aircraft carriers now. And I said, I want the aircraft carriers before the war. I don't want them after the war is won. They want to send me aircraft carriers after the war. There's practically nobody to shoot at them. Their missile count is down, Pete. Maybe you could discuss it by about 90-something%. The drones are way down, and the factories are being demolished. Maybe.
Yes, sir. Our missiles being shot are down over 90% since the beginning. One-way attack drones down 90% since the beginning, which is a reflection of overwhelming firepower. But you mentioned the most important part, Mr. President. Their defense industrial base. If you can't make more of it in the future, then you have a limited supply. And so we're going after all of their defense contractors that make all of their exquisite weapons and ensuring that even if they wanted to rebuild more launchers or more missiles, they couldn't in the future. And that's a level of devastation for their military that they've never seen before.
So we have, in literally 2 weeks, we've demolished their Navy, their Air Force. All technology is gone. All communication is gone. And all of the leaders are gone. Other than that, they're doing quite well. Okay, how about one more question for the Prime Minister? Let me pick a beautiful looking person from Japan. A question for the Prime Minister. Go ahead. Yeah. Oh, he doesn't believe he's beautiful.
Oh,
He says, you sounded shy. Go ahead, please.
of course, no, Japan and US are very good friends. But one question, why didn't you tell US allies in Europe and Asia, like Japan, about the war before attacking Iran? So we are very confused about we Japanese citizens.
Well, one thing, you don't want to signal too much. You know, when we go in, we went in very hard, and we didn't tell anybody about it because we wanted surprise. Who knows better about surprise than Japan? Okay, why didn't you tell me about Pearl Harbor? Okay, right? You know, he's asking me. Now you believe in surprise, I think much more so than us, and we had to surprise him, and we did. And because of that surprise, we knocked out the first 2 days. We probably knocked out 50% of what we, and much more than we anticipated doing. So if I go and tell everybody about it, there's no longer a surprise, right? Okay, one more for the Prime Minister. Are you going to for the Prime Minister?
Yes.
Go ahead for the Prime Minister.
Thank you very much. Japan's TG Press. Japan's biggest concern is China. Now they are giving us export control and very harsh terms to criticize us. So will you plan to bring out relationship between Japan and China while you are there?
Yeah. Well, I'll be going to China very quickly, but I think I'd really like to have the Prime Minister talk about China because I know they have a little bit of an edgy relationship, and I'd just like to know where it stands, how you're doing with China. So, please.
All right, I am going to cut over to CNBC right now. They're talking about, or they were talking about crude. Let's see what's going on.
And ever since World War II, to send their military around the world in any kind of offensive capability because of the signal that would set and the memory of Imperial Japan. This, though, because of the enormous reliance on oil from the Strait for the Japanese, might be a situation where they feel they have to get involved. So watching the body language, the signaling here, a very warm hug from Prime Minister Takaichi to President Trump at the beginning of this meeting out on the South Lawn, and then we'll see where we go from here throughout the afternoon.
They're still trying to sell this, it sounds, Eamon, as a short-term thing by calling it numerous times a little excursion.
All right, they're just going to give their commentary. I don't know that we really learned anything from what Trump said. I mean, hopefully we can take some of these things at face value that we're toward the tail end of this. That would be nice. I mean, hopefully that is the case. Let's see what's happening with the markets. Broadcom is still up. Let's bring this up. All right, Apple down, Amazon down, Broadcom up, BM&R down, Costco down, Salesforce down, the Dow is down, Alphabet, Meta, Microsoft all down, Micron now down 5%. I hope Tanner's not getting that crushed right now. Maybe we'll call Tanner in a few minutes. Nebius and Next are up. They are up. ServiceNow. NVIDIA is making a little bit of a comeback. They were down a little bit more before. Reddit back down. SoFi was over 17 just before. Now it's under 17. SPY is down 0.5% or so. The spiders, the only one that's up is energy. All right. Let's see what else I got that I wanted to talk about. So the S&P, it broke key technical support levels for the first time since May. The S&P 500 traded below its 200-day moving average for the first time since May 2023. And that's a long time. And I am monitoring. Oh, hold on. We're going to CNBC for a sec. Our first guest is on right now.
But the knock-on effect to the consumer is actually disinflationary, more so than it is inflationary. It is absolutely causing people to think twice about spending, and I think we're seeing that sentiment everywhere we look. So I don't believe it. The bigger issue for me is the state of the financials. They look absolutely horrible. The 2-year is up the most on the curve right now.
Sure. 385 was what it hit earlier today. We can look at it as Josh is talking. I didn't mean to interrupt, but just to give context to that, yields are definitely up, especially on the short end, on the back of what Powell had to say yesterday and where the Fed seems to be positioning.
Yeah, no, Judge, it's the right interruption because that's really the most important thing. This is the highest we've seen the 2-year since August of 2025. And in the meanwhile, it almost feels like there's nowhere to hide the last couple of days. Gold just broke down below its 50-day moving average. Metals and mining on the whole are the stocks themselves are negative. The materials are down 2%. We've lost the home builders because mortgage rates are not coming down at the rate that we had hoped earlier this year. And now you've got 26% of the S&P 500 below the 50-day, which is the lowest reading since Liberation Day almost a year ago. That is a 2 standard deviation below the mean, and it's problematic. 52-week lows on the NYSE are now at 5%. That's the highest since November. So it's a risk-off tape, and we've lost a lot of the areas that we were using as sort of like all right, here's a little bit of a hedge, or here's a little bit of a non-correlated asset. People are just right now looking at a lot of these developments, looking at the bond market, looking at oil, and just saying, you know what? I don't need to figure out the next thing I want to invest in right away. Let me move some cash to the sidelines.
Jan, it's
So I agree a lot with what he's saying right now. The reality is this is becoming a risk-off situation. I mean, look, we saw it last night. Micron put up phenomenal earnings, okay? Stock tanked after hours. It's down. Micron is down right now 4.95%, okay? They put up higher than expected capital spending plans despite posting very strong quarterly earnings. Investors are punishing the stock. I mean, look, prioritizing CapEx over shareholder returns is not a bullish sentiment right now. That was, if you were spending more last year, you got rewarded. That is not the scenario right now. And Micron's guidance suggested that the company sees a structural memory upcycle, but the market wants proof. You know, too many people remember boom bust cycles. Too many people think we're getting to the bust portion rather than the boom portion. And right now, these hardware companies have to show that the show will go on and more CapEx will be spent. Right now, Micron is betting big on AI memory demand, but the investors are demanding returns now. I mean, it's a tug of war right now. One company I don't really follow, but I do believe it is a little important for what's going on. Lululemon fell on a weak 2026 outlook. I mean, they cited cautious consumer spending and heightened promotional activity in the category, which are headwinds. Full year 2026 EPS guidance came in below estimates, suggesting margin pressure will persist even as traffic recovers later in the year. So we're seeing Lululemon go down. Eli Lilly, there's new data out, best-in-class weight loss drug. We'll see what happens. I mean, analysts see results as a major catalyst for Lilly's obesity franchise, which is already projected to generate $10 billion plus in annualized revenue. We got treasury yields surging and stagflation fears. I mean, as Josh was saying, the 2-year treasury yield climbed to roughly 18 basis points. We're hovering around 4%, sharpest single-day move in months. You got UK 2-year yields, which jumped 30 basis points to almost 4.4%. The 10-year US Treasury is up over 4.3%, I believe. I mean, you got rising yields pressuring equity valuations, discounted growth rates, and discounted cash flows. I mean, this is what happens to companies that are sensitive to rate changes. The bond markets are screaming stagflation and the equities are getting impacted. Look, when cost of capital goes up, or you have a situation that we're in, which I believe is more likely. Think about 5 years ago, borrowing costs were nil because rates were very low. You're talking about the spring of 2021, 5 years ago. Corporate debt rolls on 5 and 10 year cycles. When you're borrowing at low rates and then that's terming, or you refinance at low rates and that's terming, and you have an environment like this, and you have to refi at higher rates, that compresses your profitability. That's not good. I think that we do need lower rates. I've said in the past, and I'll say it again. I am not, I swear to God, I do read the chat a lot. I try not to laugh a lot. I almost started laughing. Steve needs to stream in a Lululemon outfit and pants too. How about this? How about this? If you guys get me to 30,000 followers on YouTube, okay, I will go to Lululemon. I will buy a full outfit and I will stream in that. How about that? If we can double up on my followers, I will go to Lululemon and start buying clothes from there just for the chat. Anyway, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I don't think that the economy is fragile enough where if we were to hit 4% inflation, that's going to stop anything. The reality is, whether it's 2.5%, 3%, or 4%, and a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. This is my own opinion. When you take the headlines out and you just think about it, if you go to the grocery store this year and you spend $100, and you go to the grocery store next year and you spend $102.50 or $103.50 or $104 for the same stuff, is that going to stop you from buying anything? I mean, it doesn't feel good, but it's not the end of the world. I really do believe that the free markets will figure themselves out. And a very important thing with lowering rates is making sure that the business environment is strong, making sure that the business environment has access to capital. Girls' clothes is not happening, okay? I promise you that. Girls' clothes will not be happening, but I will rock Lululemon clothes if you guys get me to 30,000 followers, 100%. If I say I'm going to do something, I do something. Anyway, I'm not too worried about inflation because I do have a optimistic outlook that the excursion in the Middle East will end sometime in the near future. And if we can get oil back down, I think we'll be all right. I'm not too concerned about it. So as Amit and I were talking, PPI, so inflation accelerated before the Middle East conflict. Wholesale inflation surged 0.7% month over month in February, well above expectations and the fastest pace since last summer. The acceleration came before the Middle East war escalated, and that means the February data doesn't reflect a 50% spike in oil. Core PPI, which strips out food and energy, also ran hot, suggesting inflation pressures for broadening beyond commodities. The hot print gives the Fed zero room to pivot, even if economic growth slows. So we really may be cementing a stagflation narrative. So inflation was already reaccelerating before oil spiked, and the March data could put PPI in a very bad situation. 100K, if we get to 100K, something crazy is going to happen. I can tell you that. Oh, hold on. Let's go back to CNBC real quick. I may have to back it up.
Risk appetite of the I think basically since the beginning of top of
that we see this year. So there's still opportunity for them to finish the year strong, even if the entire sector doesn't actually go in that
So
direction.
you bought Goldman.
I did.
Is that a new buy?
Yeah, it's a brand new
altogether?
buy for me. I've been wanting to complete that trifecta I just mentioned for some time.
Okay.
But Goldman was the strongest one among the three, and the price really wouldn't.
I want to see what Josh says about Robinhood. That's why I put it on. So I know a lot of you are
because I don't think
in Robinhood. So let's say
don't. Capital markets and investment banking, M&A, all the things that Goldman does literally better than anyone else should continue to shine. I'll show you the anti-Goldman. Give me a chart of Robinhood right now. The stock is literally sitting on a breakdown level. You got to give me longer than that, guys. This is in a 50% drawdown. You want to talk about an indicator of investor sentiment. And I know there's a lot of crypto in here. Look at this level of support that Robinhood has been sitting on top of basically since the beginning of February. You don't want to see what happens if this breaks down. You could be looking at a $50 stock relatively quickly. That's concerning because I think that stock, more than most others, speaks to the risk appetite of the regular investor. The other name that
hold on real quick. Let me just, I don't want you to get off that yet, because this plays perfectly off of what you're just talking about. According to JP Morgan, retail money invested is down about 15% week over week, and in total 43%. Retail money invested down 43% more or less since the start of the conflict.
It turns out people really love instant gratification when they put money to work, and when they don't get it, the trend weakens or goes in reverse. I think that's what we're seeing here. We've had a very long run of people getting that instant gratification. I put $10,000 into the market. It's worth $11,000 a week later. Look what a genius I am. When that goes into reverse and 10 becomes 8, obviously you start to see that enthusiasm slow a little bit.
I don't want to get off the banks. I want to give Shannon a chance to comment on it, because you're the same day that you get a big win for the banks, the new regulatory.
All right, I'll come back to CNBC when there's something else that looks interesting. So I don't know what's going to go on with Hood and SoFi. I think long-term they're both fine. Okay, I really do. It's a very difficult situation. And the reality is right now we got to discuss PPI and we got to discuss the economic factors. This is going to impact the market. I'm going to say it again. I do not care about the long term. I care about the short term because the short term can impact the midterm. And I'm not talking about the midterms. I'm talking about the midterm economic environment. Well, I will be on for the market close also. So go take a nap if you want. Anyway, we also got the Philly Fed manufacturing numbers, and the index unexpectedly surged to 18.1 in March versus 8.4, which was expected, driven by a jump in current shipments. The beat suggests manufacturing activity is holding up better than feared despite rising geopolitical risks and tighter financial conditions. We got energy stocks hitting all-time highs on the oil surge. Marathon is up 19% or so since the war started in Iran. Valero, which I'm shocked, this is a big refiner, I'm shocked is at all-time highs. We know Chevron's up, Exxon's up. I mean, energy is the only place to high in the market right now. And the refiners are looking interesting, even though higher oil prices makes their input costs go up. Don't start talking to me about GTA 6. All right. Maddie and I are on a mission. I think we're going to stream it live, build a community. We'll talk about that over the summer probably. So let me go over what I got on my radar, okay? Here's where, and let me see how to bring up a full chart of this or a full segment of this. Give me a sec. Still learning how to use Robinhood Legends. Can I make one portion full screen? I'm not sure. Not sure if I can, but I will do it on Seeking Alpha. How about that? Everybody's favorite technical analyst coming at you right now, NVIDIA. So here's what I'm watching. All right. I know, bootleg technical analysis. So NVIDIA is at 178.70. It's starting to come back. The big thing for me is that NVIDIA won China approval to sell H200 chips. So I know Amit was saying that there wasn't a lot of news at GTC. This may have been the biggest news. I haven't heard everything, so I can't tell you what is. But NVIDIA received Chinese regulatory approval to sell its H200 AI chips and is developing a Grok AI chip specifically for the Chinese market. Okay? Specifically for the Chinese market. Jensen confirmed, quote, "We have received purchase orders," end quote, from Chinese customers. That signals demand remains strong despite U.S. export restrictions. These approvals, they suggest China is selectively allowing advanced chip sales to maintain AI development capacity while U.S.-China tensions still persist. NVIDIA shares are down, but in my opinion, the Chinese news provides a bullish offset. So NVIDIA is finding ways to keep China revenue alive despite Washington's efforts to cut it off. So to me, that's big. I like NVIDIA here. I was going to pull the trigger, was looking at it. Obviously, it was down a lot more. We got a day range of 175.79 to 179.05. It's hovering around the top end for the day. I don't mind it rolling to 182 before I buy more because you know what? Maybe it goes down to 175. I don't know, but a couple of dollars isn't going to kill anything for me. This isn't a $5 stock. A couple of bucks isn't a matter of getting 60% more shares or not. So I don't necessarily need more NVIDIA, but I do think it's one of the cheapest stocks in the market. And I'm going to bring up right now live where all the valuations are for the Mag 7. So let me get that up for you. Maybe I'll make an order right now live. Let's say maybe I can convince myself. So here we go. I mean, look how inexpensive NVIDIA is at 178.67. You're talking about a company that's trading at under 22 times this year's earnings and under 14 times forward. It is the cheapest in the Mag 7. It is the cheapest in the Mag 7. At some point, I got to think that this is going to turn. At some point. It is so inexpensive. Now, don't do anything because I think it's inexpensive. I have not bought more. I have a big position in it. Some of you, if I told you the amount of shares, you would think it's not a lot. Some of you would think it's crazy. For me, it's a big position. It's a larger percentage of my portfolio than I originally would have thought I would have allowed it to get to. Okay. But when I look at this and when I look at where the growth is for them, I mean, you're getting, if the analyst community is correct, 58% EPS growth over the next 2 fiscal years. That's huge. It's absolutely huge. The Mag 7, and I did add a couple of companies to this for comparison. The Mag 7 look like value stocks where value stocks look like growth stocks. Walmart and Costco at these valuations look like growth stocks. You're supposed to pay up for growth. You're supposed to find value. I think right now we're finding a lot of value in the Mag 7 names. Look, I know Oracle has its problems, but Oracle is inexpensive. So when I look at this, I'm really thinking about buying more NVIDIA here. I'm not logged into the account I would be buying it in, but it is interesting. So we'll monitor this. I do think Amazon's a big winner here. Amazon, I'm surprised at how well it's holding up. I think Amazon if anything, I would have thought that would have been 190 rather than Microsoft at 388. Amazon gets impacted by higher oil prices, in my opinion, more than these other companies. They have a ton of transportation costs, a ton of them. So I think Amazon's holding up really well, and I think that's bullish for Amazon. I really wouldn't mind adding more Amazon here. So I know a lot of you are asking about Micron. I'll add it. I mean, it's going to look so inexpensive when I show you this. I mean, it looks more inexpensive than freaking NVIDIA. Now, everybody knows I like to make things look the same, so bear with me, all right? Let me get the actual numbers, and I will plug them in for Micron. We can look at it in real time. By a show of ones, because I can't do three things at once, put a 1 in the chat if you bought Micron yesterday as a play, hoping that it went up. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I need Tanner. I didn't realize this. Let's call Tanner live.
Steven, what's up, man? I'm live.
Oh, I have you live.
Oh, what's up?
I thought you weren't going live till 1.
I have a members only stream between 12 and 1 every day.
Oh, I didn't know that. All right. Well, want to get your opinion really quickly. Did you see where the new estimates for Micron are for EPS?
1915?
Dude, they're expected to do $57.70 of EPS this year. 89.35 next year. And then 77.48. This thing is trading at an 8 PE.
Not only that, so one, they just beat estimates this quarter by 46%. So
I know.
I honestly would say that that is on the extremely conservative side. On top of that, you know, like I think the PEG ratio is something like 0.1, like not 1 times, it's like 0.1. It's pretty crazy.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Well, I mean, I'm not buying it yet, but these numbers are looking really interesting with it getting hit. And I think it could keep going down a little bit and get even cheaper. I mean, this is incredible. So just wanted to see what you thought on it. Didn't realize you were live members only. I'll let you get going.
No, I'll just say another thing here too, though. This is the worry, okay? Look up 3D DRAM. This is supposedly a breakthrough that I think is theoretically possible, and that they think will end up being developed in like after 2030. And supposedly it's just expected to change the whole like it's just going to kill pricing power and memory. Like I think this is the concern, is that we're going to have such a breakthrough with 3D DRAM that essentially we're not going to see 81% gross margins after, you know, maybe 2032 or something like this. That's the problem, I think.
Oh no, so, 6 years from now.
No, I know, but like if you're not, if everyone is holding it for a short term, if everyone expects to only hold it for 2 years, who is your exit liquidity? Like if everyone is getting ready to get out, who, like, you know?
But I mean, once again, what are we saying? That this is going to trade at 2 times earnings or 3 times earnings?
Maybe, because people know that it's going to go bust. Like if everyone knows it's a 5-year trade, then who is going to bring this up to a 20 times multiple?
It's never. I mean, I shouldn't say never. I was in Micron at $10 and sold it at 18. Because of a cycle with Windows 7, I believe, or something. And
good trade.
Micron's always been a boom bust, but this is getting crazy where the boom bust cycle is elongated and lasting a very long time, and they're able to really profit off of this. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing too. Like, is if it does just trade at like, you know, a 2 times multiple, it's just something crazy. Like the buybacks are going to be unreal.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the amount of money that they can generate during this cycle, and if no one gives it a premium, they will be the buyer. They'll step in to be the buyer.
They should eliminate the dividend as small as it is and just buy back a massive amount of shares with all their free cash flow.
Yeah, and then that's the amount of money that they're bringing in is going to be, multiples higher next quarter and multiple hires the quarter at. Like they're just growing at an unbelievable rate.
It's incredible. All right.
And there's no lift in this supply constraint until 2028 because no fabs are coming online.
So
we're all buying right now, but this takes years to set up.
So tonight we're going live at 8 together. Why don't we talk about SoFi, Micron, and NVIDIA, and just those three?
Will do.
All right. I'll see you at 8.
Are we doing anything special?
Text me if you want to do something special. We can. You tell me. I'll make a list. You pick.
All right, cool.
You get to pick.
Sounds good.
All right, later.
Bye.
All right, so you guys heard it from Tanner. He's not wrong. I said before, the market's worried about a boom bust cycle, but under 8 times earnings, come on. That's a little crazy. Under 8 times. No, Michelle, he said, should we make a list? Because we were doing movies, TV shows, all that stuff. Should we make a list? So he'll let me know if he wants to make a list. I'm not buying Micron here. But I mean, look, and I'm not saying this is going to happen, but if the market takes us down to 350, 6 times earnings, at some point this gets cheap enough where it's like, is it really going to trade here? I don't know. I like NVIDIA here more, my opinion. But Micron looks incredibly cheap, and the quarter was phenomenal. All right, so one thing that could help the market, it's not helping it yet, okay? We're going back to CNBC. Josh is talking about best stocks in the market, the new thing that he keeps up with. So let me get a little rewind on here. Hold on. All right. Bringing it back.
New England, you've never been to a Casey's, have you? Probably not. Malcolm, Mid-Atlantic region, you've never said, okay, me either. Not important.
I have no idea what Casey's General is. Who in the chat knows what a Casey's General is? I have no freaking clue. Is this like a Ross Stores?
This is a convenience store with a gas station. Bottom line is when gasoline prices go from $3 to $4, that is a 33% de facto uptick in revenue for the gasoline sales at Casey's. And this is a growth company, even beyond that more recent catalyst that I think has been driving some accumulation into the stock. They're going to open 80 new stores this year on a net basis. They say they'll grow 8 to 10% in terms of cash flow this year as well. And I'm looking at this technically, guys. Give me something a little bit. Yeah. So this is very simple. I think $600 is a pretty decent line in the sand from a risk reward standpoint for investors. That's where I would set my initial stop, and then I would trail it. I would check back every Friday for the closing weekly price. So long as she stays above, I think this thing has potential to continue on this beautiful, almost pristine uptrend. You see how well it's obeyed that 200-day in the recent past. No reason to think that won't continue. And so long as we see these higher prices at the pump, and I'm not hoping that they'll last long, this will be one of the names that I think remains in favor. There are a few others, but this is a niche type of situation. Not many companies in the market beyond the energy sector actually benefit from higher prices, but this one does.
You actually have your eyes on another consumer-facing name.
Yeah.
Which hit a 52-week high just this Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it is QSR.
Yeah.
Which is restaurant brands.
So I haven't had a chance to write this one up, but I probably will at some point.
I don't necessarily love these. I mean, Restaurants are a very hard business. Very hard business. I'm not interested in that. Oh, Duolingo got destroyed. What happened? Let's take CNBC off for a moment. Let's see what's going on with the company that I love to hate, Duolingo. I don't know if it necessarily got destroyed. It looks like it's in the same spot that it was. It's just hovering around 100. I mean, yes, it's been destroyed this year, but it's kind of bottoming out, it looks like. I don't know if we're going to see another leg down or not. I'm just not interested in this at all. Not interested in Duolingo. So look, we did have, no love for Costco, especially in this scenario. So we did have some news where President Trump issued a 60-day Jones Act waiver to ease energy supply. So that allows foreign flag ships to transport oil, gas, fertilizer, and coal to U.S. ports. The emergency action aims to alleviate domestic supply constraints and lower consumer energy costs as oil prices surge past 100 a barrel. The Jones Act normally requires all goods shipped between U.S. ports to travel to the U.S., U.S. flagged, and U.S. crewed vessels, limiting capacity. So Trump is basically pulling regulatory levers to help fight inflation. I have no idea if this is going to help. It's only a 60-day term. So this won't solve a structural energy crisis at all. So we got to watch crude. I mean, Brent testing where it is not good. S&P 6,600 is a critical level. You got treasury yields. We don't want the 2-year passing 4%. We certainly don't want the 10-year getting to 4.5%. Don't forget, this will hurt the housing market. One of the big things with the housing market has been that we want it to, hold on. Looks like they're going to talk crude. Let's bring it on, then I'll discuss the housing market real quick. Let's bring this back up.
Consideration. No word on whether products is also included in that, but of course, as the administration works through the toolbox they have at their disposal to try and lower the inflationary impact of these higher oil prices, export controls had been something that had been talked about, but the White House saying that that is not under consideration at this time, first reported by Politico. We did see WTI briefly get up above the $100 level, but now up about 2% here at $98. Scott?
Okay, appreciate that update from you, Pippa. Thank you, Pippa Stevens. Mike Santoli's next.
I mean, I don't think anybody knows what's going to happen in the short term. The problem is the Fed can't cut rates. You got the 10-year yield rising. That hurts mortgages. And we were getting to a place where it looked like the housing market was going to be unleashed. It looked like the golden handcuffs were going to get taken off. Doesn't look like that anymore. That's definitely going to put pressure on financials. Certainly not bullish at all for a lot of mortgage REITs. Some would say it's going to hurt SoFi a little bit. I mean, I think it's an overall problem for the economy. Oh, somebody just bought a lot of, why is that not? Thank you for saying that. Got to put that on the list. QXO to cover. QXO, where are we? $20. Yeah. QXO may stall out here. Higher inflation and higher energy costs is certainly not bullish for QXO. Oh, Rachel. Ugh. I love both. I own more Meta than Amazon, so this is a hard question for me to answer, but I do like both of them very close. I think right here, Meta is is very inexpensive. I personally probably add more to Amazon. Ooh, you know what, everyone? I like it. We are going to put Rocket Lab on the list. Look at that. Rocket Lab. I can't sing like Matt, I'm sorry. Rocket Lab is up on the contract. Rocket Money up 3%. Look at that. Good for Matt. Good for Erwin. Good for everybody who owns Rocket Lab. I know Chels is in the Space Mob. Next is still holding. Nebius is holding. Palantir is holding. Spy 656. Man, how many of you are in Rocket Lab? Good for you guys. I'm not in the Space Mob. Salesforce turned negative. So the housing market could be put on hold. A lot of things could be put on hold. We need strong downward pressure on oil. We need it. We absolutely need it. You're right. I gotta tell you, I forgot Zeta on here. Let's throw Zeta on. Zeta's holding above 17, everyone. I did not buy next. I did not buy next, everyone. I apologize. I did not buy it. All right, the S&P is broken below 6,600, everyone. It is below 6,600. And look, you guys know that I don't get political. I try not to talk about politics. Not that I won't engage in the conversation, but I think it's too polarizing at the moment. And I only want to talk about things that are applicable to the market. And sometimes they intersect. And I'm happy to talk about policy and aspects of what's going on because it impacts the market. But let's be very clear on something. What's with the blanket on the couch? There's two blankets on the couch, and I needed somewhere to put them. And that's where they ended up. So, I don't know. That's where they ended up. Anyway, look, both parties, if you go back and look, have both said they would take action if it looked like Iran was getting a nuke. I have no idea what the information was, okay? I have no idea. So, keep that in mind. Oh, you guys didn't forget my New York tax rant. I'm about to go on another rant about that. And I watched Governor Hochul's interview. I got some problems with it. And I'm not, listen, I'm in my office. I have a couch in my office. Like, this is my office, okay? I have a couch in here. I'm not exiled. Not believing you that this is my office? Okay. It's my home office. Anyway, what Kathy Hochul said, I am likely going to respond to. It is not any one individual's responsibility to take care of anybody else. Really think about that. We're all paying our taxes. If you want to leave a state and go move somewhere else, you're completely allowed to. You don't have an obligation to do anything else. You're paying your taxes every month. So I just think it's crazy that she was saying what she was saying. So I am planning on writing a post about it because I got annoyed at it. Make New York competitive. If you don't want people leaving for low tax states, figure out a way to compete. Don't complain about it. Figure out a way to compete. Because if you don't compete, more of this is going to happen. You guys are saying VG is dumping? Hold on. Let me look. VG. VG is, I don't know if it's dumping, but it's even. How nice is Michelle bringing Ray lunch? That's amazing. Michelle, were there cookies or cupcakes in there also? I hope there were. Listen, I'm trying to make you feel like Amit. You know, I'm pronouncing things incorrectly on purpose. How about that? Sandwich and chips. Nice. I got to figure out what I'm going to have for lunch. Tanner. I hope you get ready for tonight, Tanner. I'm going to be in rare form about SoFi, I feel like. Michelle, that is so nice of you. That is really spectacular. Very nice. Dookie Pie, what's going on? Looks like Dookie Pie was right about Micron. Tanner, incorrect yesterday. Dookie Pie probably did pretty well today, considering Micron's down 4 or 5%. Oh, Tanner. Well, we'll see. I mean, Tanner, I may be buying more NVIDIA today. We'll see. I may wait, but I really think buying more for me is the right move. Yeah, I want to know what that scorecard is, you versus Dookie. We should get a prediction market going on that, is what we should do. I think a prediction market would be freaking great. I didn't buy anything today. I bought more Microsoft the other day. Zeta, I still like it a lot. I'm still a big fan of Zeta. Oh, hold on. We're going CNBC. I got to back it up. So hold on. We got final trades. I missed it. I can't. Hold on. Let me. Can I not go back? Are you kidding me? I apologize, everyone. I can't rewind. It's on segment by segment on this. This first day I'm using YouTube TV. I apologize. They're now on the exchange. I missed final trade. I will get better for the next time I do a daytime show, which is going to happen. All right, they are talking about oil, so let me go to that real quick.
That has the price of Brent almost near the highs from a few weeks back, 119 and change. It's at 109 now, so we're off those session highs. European natural gas, same kind of story, was up 20% earlier on. It's settling down somewhat. And the U.S. oil benchmark, for what it's worth, WTI crude, in more of a holding pattern, albeit a high one at $98 or so. We're also watching shares.
I mean, I do not like WTI here at all. This scares the shit out of me. WTI here scares the shit out of me. I'm going to call it in 6 minutes. Once I hit an hour 30, I'm going to call it. So questions from everybody in the chat. Let's take questions, and then I'm going to go get lunch, and then I'll be back for the market close. Yeah, Tanner and I are going to address this tonight. I'm not going to, it's a long thing, so I'm not going to spend time right now. Tonight, Tanner and I will address it. Did I get fired? No, I did not get fired. I took the day off. But we may be doing this a little bit more. We'll see. I did not buy Reddit yet. I am planning on buying Reddit at some point. NVIDIA, I own a lot of. I'm probably going to buy a little bit more. I mean, we'll see. I still don't care, everyone. Like, right now, I really don't care. All right, Dookie Pie. Grace us with your knowledge. Grace us, please. The pressure is on. Now, I will say, Dookie Pie's percentage of being correct is very high. Very high. Ticker is suspense. We're waiting. Very funny. Is that even a company? If there is a ticker Amit, I will probably buy it just for the laugh. There is no ticker Dookie Pie of Amit. I'm not changing my target yet on the S&P, and I know 8,000 seems ridiculous right now, but I reserve the right, as I always do, to change. I will provide an update in a couple of months. Let's see what happens. I agree. The Yankees offseason moves suck. They're not lame. They suck. I haven't looked at SCHD in a while. I own it, so I will take a look. I believe we're going to a Laker game next week, Dookie. I believe we're going to hit the Lakers game next week. I do think it'll be the summer of the Mag 7, so I'm with that. Don't forget, everybody, we have NCAA basketball. Thank God for NCAA basketball. I'm going to watch some of the games. And honestly, I'm excited to watch some of the games. I got a lot of upsets going. Let's see. Happy birthday. It's not my birthday. Yes, Venti Starbucks. Yes. I agree. March Madness is the greatest time for sports. Really is. Who's everybody got? I got Arizona winning the whole thing. I got Zona winning. I know a lot of people got Duke. Duke's got some injuries. I'm a little upset. I really considered taking Michigan State over Duke, but I didn't. Yes, thank you. It's not my birthday, but thank you. All right, everyone. I'm going to call it. I will be back. What time did I set the stream up for? I think I set up for 3:45. So I will be back at 3:45 for the market close to fill in for Amit. Please Enjoy the rest of your day. Tanner is live right now. If you go over to Tanner's stream, please type Steve just to annoy him. Anyway, thank you for joining. Chicken parm, absolutely. Real quick, put a bunch of ones in the comment section if you'd want me to do a stream between Amit and Tanner during the day. Maybe we can make something happen. But I would like to do more streams to hang out with everybody and provide content if you enjoy the content. Interesting. All right. Wow. All right. We may make that happen, everyone. We may figure out a way to make that happen. So if the people want it, see what we can do. I'll get back to you in a week or so. We'll figure out what we can do. But really appreciate everybody being here. I'll be here for the market close to fill in for Amit. Look at you guys. Look at you guys. No, listen, we may try to figure something out. So anyway, thank you for being here. If you go watch Tanner, type Steve in the chat to annoy him. And I will be back at 3:45 to fill in for Amit for the market close. Thank you so much. I'm going to go get some lunch. I'm going to watch some NCAA, look at the markets, and I'll be back in 2 hours and 37 minutes. Enjoy, everyone.